Wow. All right. So, as you guys saw from the event description, we are going to talk about power pockets and basically how to make building your business when you're first starting out, and even just as like a part-time coach or somebody who's sort of transitioning from discount to doing a little bit more, how to make that more simple for you, because I don't think there is anybody on here that says that they have more time. You know, everybody is busy, every single one of us. So pretty much everybody has a kid, has kids. Everybody has this, like a spouse they got to deal with. Everybody has like stuff. So what's the easiest way to fit this into our day? And I think what the big thing was, I think maybe we're all sort of doing it already, but we just maybe aren't being as efficient with it as possible. And one of the things that I've been listening to with Brendon Burchard was that he put out some statistic where like we probably waste something like 2 hours of our day just on stupid stuff, because multitaskers actually perform worse and get less done than people who literally just put their head down and focus on a task, whether it's for 10 minutes or for an hour. So we want to make your time efficient, and we want to make it easy for you. And something that Tammy and Aaron and I have been talking about, and we all three of us watched this video in the Beachbody Champions page, was one of these coaches who took her team from 600 in the network into the elite rankings. She's like 118 now, just by having her team start doing like these little things, these little changes, because again, she's working with like part-time coaches, people that don't have time. And so one of the things she tried to do was sort of develop this foolproof system where everybody can fit in these power pockets. Not a power hour, but we're talking like 10, 15 minutes here, in the morning, 10, 15 minutes maybe on your lunch break, 10, 15 minutes. Hi, Kate. 10, 15 minutes, when you're in the car line, picking up your kid, whatever it might be. So the first, literally nobody has come to the door all day and somebody's at the door. Unbelievable. So the first power pocket that this coach talked about having her team do, let me share my screen with you guys, is this one. So what she wants her coaches to do is that before they do anything with their phone, right when they wake up, they pick up their phone, and the first thing they do is they make 5 connections with people. And we can go over how to make connections with people later, but what I've personally been doing is finding people on Instagram who are maybe following somebody that I really like and we have something in common. So, for example, right now, sort of like my market is sort of going towards people who have had ACL knee surgeries, or who are have knee injuries, who have had knee surgeries. That's sort of like my thing right now. And so I'm trying to find people who are in rehab, who are all basically ACL people. And so I go on each morning now this week. I wake up and the first thing I do is I get on Instagram and I go and find 5 people to connect with on there. And when I connect with them, I just simply follow them, and then we'll see if I'll wait until later on the day to see if they follow me back. And I would say 9 times out of 10 they will follow me back, and I can check that later on in the day. After you finish that first power pocket of connecting with 5 people, let's say you do it on Facebook, maybe it's a friend of a friend. You can look on people's friends lists. Can you guys see me? It says my connection's unstable. See me? Okay. You can do it on Facebook, so you can friend request like a friend of a friend. That's usually like the easiest way to do it. You can do it all sorts of ways. Maybe somebody's liked your post on Instagram. Maybe they've liked your post on Facebook and you don't necessarily know them. You can friend request them or start following them. So then you put down your phone is what she says. She says, you do those 5 things, you put down your phone and you move on with your life. You go get your kids to school, you go make your breakfast, you go get your workout in, you do whatever you need to do, but you put your phone down and you get on with your life. And that's the part that I think we sort of struggle with is like, I'll just keep going back to my phone, and you just got to let it go and just move on. So the next thing she says to do is at some point, do your personal development, which is right here. I have personally been doing, like, after I drop my little one off the bus in the morning, I'll pop on my phone on Spotify and I'll find a podcast to listen to, and I'll walk. I'll just do a quick 10-minute loop, and I'll listen to my podcast, and then I'm go on with my life. Or on the way to preschool, Caroline, am I echoing?
Not bad. It's really not bad at all.
Okay.
It's very slight.
I'm gonna turn it. Okay, so then I'll do it in the car line, like at preschool. I'll listen to it in the car. Like, I've lately only been doing my personal development when I'm like making dinner. Like, I'll put my headphones in and I'll pop it on. You can do it literally any time of the day. Like, you don't necessarily have to pick up a book and sit down with it and read for 10 minutes. I actually find that I'm way more squirrely about it. Like, I can't concentrate because I'm literally like constantly thinking of other things. So I'm not actually digesting the personal development when I'm reading it, unless I'm without my kids or like on vacation. Like I'm a more like a audio person. Like, I need to hear it more than actually see it when it comes to personal development. So that's just one way that I squeeze it in. Let's see. So the next thing she says to do is your next power pocket is to find, I already skipped. Sorry. I'm skipping around here.
Hey, Blake, can I say something?
Did I mess that up? I totally messed it up. You're supposed to connect with 10 people. That's your first thing, 10 people. And that's the first thing you do in the morning. I'll send this to you guys so you can follow this. And then your second power pocket is to connect with 5 people. And what she means by connections is sending those, like looking at, if you're on Instagram and let's say I see somebody that's about to have knee surgery, I'll send them a message that says, oh my gosh, I just saw that you're about to have your surgery tomorrow. Good luck. I tore my ACL. I know what it's like, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. You end the conversation. You don't say, hey, I would love to like give you information about what I do, blah, blah, blah. You just make the connection. So you just make the connection and then you move on. So there's just these 5, they call them like, hey girl, messages to people. So, hey girl, I saw your outfit in your family photos. I love it. Where did you get it? I mean, it should almost be like completely unrelated to health and fitness, unless it's like, where did you get your workout clothes? Or like, I love that, like, the sports bra that you were wearing the other day in that post, whatever it might be. I also have been shooting like those connection messages to people who, if it's like a transformation post, like I did earlier this week, anybody who liked that photo, I sent a connection message to, just saying, hey, thank you so much for your support on my photo earlier this week. It's really hard to put yourself out there, but like, I totally appreciate the support. And that, I can't tell you how many people have come back to me with messages like, oh my gosh, I love, seeing stuff like this. And then they say, well, what are you doing? And it leads into this whole like conversation. I've had that with, I think, 5 people this week who are now interested in doing 80-Day Obsession just from saying like, hey, thanks for liking my photo. That's it. So just think of it that way. Just even if somebody likes something, it's sort of like fair game to reach out to them at that point, I think. But you might not necessarily want to talk about health and fitness at all, like completely, talk about their kids, talk about their job, whatever it might be. Let's see, the next thing she says to do is your third power pocket is going to be your social media post. So that could be a workout Wednesday. Maybe it's a particular move you do. Maybe it's a photo of one of your meals, and you'll say, I'll post the recipe for you guys, whatever it might be. You figure out what you want to do in your social media. Then you put down your phone, get on with your life, and move on. Your next Power Pocket, again, these are like 10-minute little pockets scattered throughout the day. Like literally when you have like 2 seconds to do it. This is not, or you could put your head down and do like a power hour and just go straight through all of these things, but you don't necessarily have to, because like, how many of us actually have an hour to do a power hour? I don't have an hour. I definitely don't have an hour. I barely have an hour to do my like day job, like my real job. So I can't devote an hour to like this stuff. So again, maybe you shoot out, let's see, we're still at Power Pocket 3, right? Are you guys keeping me on track here? Then you go to Power Pocket 4, and you invite 5 people to either your boot camp, or she says your business, like a business opportunity, like a coaching thing. I think that's where those come into play as you continue to develop those connections with people. So as you keep having these messages with people, you start to progress and develop like a friendship with them, and then you invite them. And one of the things she had actually said, she suggested when you are messaging people, was like after you've made, like it's been a couple weeks of like connecting with these people, she suggested saying like, sending a message that says, I want to apologize to you. I'm sitting here working on my next, boot camp, my online boot camp. Let's see. And I realized I never formally invited you to this. It completely changed my life. I'm committed to helping others, or whatever it might be. But the key is sort of that first line, because you know how when it pops up on an alert on your phone, all you see is like the first line. Well, if your messages can go into a black hole, because if you start like, I wanted to invite you to, they're going to be like, oh God, like roll my eyes. I don't want to listen to you. But how likely are you to open up a message that starts out, I want to apologize to you? Because they'd be like, whoa, what the heck did you do? So just sort of, you can start your message like that. But again, this only comes after you've developed that connection with people. You don't want, like, if you just like message somebody and you had like 2 back and forths, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, I forgot, I wanted to invite you. Like, that's not, I mean, if you think about it, how would you feel if somebody just like came at you right away? You'd be like, whoa, pump the brakes. I need some time. All right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go through this quickly, because again, I know nobody has time for anything. The next Power Pocket is number 5 here. Follow up with 3 people. I got to tell you guys, following up was always like a super overwhelming thing to me, because 1, I had to keep track of people, which we're going to have Erin next week is going to talk about how to use Google Streak to keep track of the people that you're connecting with, keep track of the people you're inviting, and keep track of the people you're following up with. So we'll make that super simple for you too. But I was always overwhelmed. And I was always like, I don't want to keep following up with people. If they're interested, they're going to reach out to me. And I can't tell you how wrong that is. How wrong. Just to give you an example, there was a person who I connected with through a friend of a friend almost 2 years ago. She was ready to buy a challenge pack. Great, let's do it. And then she just like ghosted me, totally disappeared. Hadn't heard from her. I still kept in contact, still kept following up for 2 years. 2 years. She just bought a challenge pack on Friday night, this past Friday night. You literally have to keep following up with people, because it just might not be the right time. She was getting out of debt, just financially it wasn't the right time, and she just sort of like brushed me off, but now it was the perfect time. So never feel guilty about following up with people, because it is such a critical thing. Just think about how busy you guys are. I went to the chiropractor today, I completely forgot my purse. Like, just total space cadet, forgot my purse, drove all the way there and was like, I don't know how to pay for this. I don't have any money. I guarantee pretty much everybody that you are reaching out to is that squirrely. Like they're like, oh yeah, I forgot she messaged me. Unless they're like super, 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 super motivated to like work out and lose weight, they're probably going to forget. They're just probably will. So the more consistent you are in the follow-up, the better. So follow up with at least 3 people in that next Power Pocket. That literally would take 5 minutes, if that, to follow up with 3 people. So we're not talking like, some of these Power Pockets are not even 15 minutes long. They can be like 3 minutes, like a quick, hey, just following up with you, send the text, done. That's it. So again, don't feel like this is over. I feel like this whole like Power Pocket day, it ends up being like 45 minutes total, maybe, if that. Because once you get the hang of it, you're going to be like very efficient with it. Let's see. The next one is, you answer messages. So this, and then again, this could be like super, super short as well. I don't get like crazy amount of messages, but there are some people that I want to respond to. So this could also include not just people interested in buying something from you, but just messages in general from those connections that you made earlier in the day. And I find just the talk to text is so much easier. Like for Instagram, you can't leave a voice message. So I do talk to text all day long. It's just so much easier. But if you're on Messenger on Facebook, I highly recommend using the voice message, because there's just something so much more comforting and relatable to somebody who's talking to you and they can hear your voice, as opposed to like this bot person behind the computer, doing an online chat. Like it's just it gets creepy and they don't necessarily trust you. I think there's a level of trust when people can hear your voice. The same thing, I like to use emojis, but that's like a whole nother thing. So that's when you're going to answer messages. Those can be like you put the kids down for bed and then you respond to people whenever. And I've had a hard time sort of backing away from answering those messages right when they come in, because guess what? Those people, it's whether you get back to them now or you get back to them at 8:00 tonight, they're still going to get your message. Like, I know it's exciting, but like, go be with your family, go like focus on your family and de-stressing, go do self-care, like whatever you need to do, but don't be like hooked to this. It's like, we need to get away from this sometimes. Like, it's probably the healthiest thing. The last thing, I think, what was the last thing on there? Let's see. So as a coach, and I actually think this should be a vital behavior. I think we should be connecting and going into our challenge groups every single day, commenting on every single person's post, whether it's with like a great job or asking them a question, or can you post the recipe? Like, our challenge groups are a supportive system. And if we don't have, or a support system, if we don't have people commenting on people's posts and showing that we're there for them, they're going to check out. Like, they're not going to post anymore. Like, not everybody's as motivated as all of us here to keep posting. Some people are actually super hesitant. So if we are in there actually motivating them and posting on their posts or commenting on their posts, and posting ourselves, the more likely people are to stick with it. So that would be another thing, like checking into your challenge groups. And then I also think checking in with your challengers. Like, I like to keep a list of my people that are in my current challenges, and I am texting, emailing, or messaging them at least twice a week, maybe once, depending on you can sort of gauge how committed or how motivated a challenger is. If I have somebody who's sort of they're great, they're just sort of taking it and running, I'll check in with them like once a week. And that is literally like, most of the time will just copy and paste, like, hey girl, just checking in to see how your nutrition and workouts are going this week. And I will copy and paste that, and I'll send it to like all those challengers, because people need that. They need to know, like, oh shoot, somebody's actually like making sure I'm working out. Like, I better get my workout in. Like, I don't want to look like the idiot that just like stopped working out, or whatever. Like, people need that sometimes. Some people don't, but I would say a lot of people do. So I think that's like another sort of vital behavior, but that's like another story. But like I said, I'll share that form with you guys. One thing it didn't have was it only has you making one social media post a day. I would suggest at least 2, maybe 3. It could just be a quick motivational quote. It doesn't, like, they don't even have to be these crazy long posts. They can be really, really short. But I would say, like, find another time here or there to like post to social media 1 to 3 times a day. 2 to 3, I would say the best would be. But so that's about it. Like I said, this is like super easy peasy. I've been following it this week. I think Erin has been following it. I think Tammy's been following it. Like, this can completely change the direction of your business, especially when you're first starting out and you're like, I do not have time to even breathe. But then, half the time we spend scrolling on Facebook and Instagram, and we're like, I just wasted 15 minutes of my life looking at Shaun T's babies on Instagram. Like, I have done that. I do it daily because they're so cute. So I have to say it, like, it's okay. But you get my drift. Like, how many times have you like followed somebody on Instagram and you're like, I just lost 15 minutes of my life just going back looking at all their posts. So just think of it that way. Like, think about the time that we are like just inefficient with what we have. We just don't, we don't have time to be scrolling all the time. We don't need to be looking at what other coaches are doing. We need to do what we're doing. We need to be us and be real and true and not worry about like what the top coaches are doing, because guess what? We're not top coaches yet. Like, we don't need to worry about what they're doing. We need to do what we're doing. So, that's it. I feel like I talk really fast in these, but I'm trying to be very conscious of everybody's time and that nobody has a lot of time. So does anybody have any questions or have anything they want to add?
I want to add something really quick.
Let me turn you up because I was echoey. Go ahead, Erin. Sorry.
Well, my audio wasn't working before, so you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was awesome. And I have been trying to implement that since I've watched the video that, where we got these ideas from. So for the past 2 days, I've been working on that. 2 things I want to talk about. So the reaching out and adding friends within Instagram and within Facebook. I know that's something that is very scary for a lot of us. And here is one thing that the girl in the video we watched mentioned. She said, you know what? Social media is exactly that. That is what it's made for. It's social. That's why people are on there, to make friends, to meet people. It is not weird. It's not awkward. Don't feel strange about it. If they don't want to be your friend, they just won't accept your requests. Done. End of story. It's literally just like walking up to somebody and saying, hey, my name's Erin. Do we have something in common? Let's talk about it. That's all it is. So don't read into it any more than that. Okay. And yeah, so let's not read into it any more than that. The other thing I wanted to say in regards to these power pockets. So here's what I've found for me the past couple of days of trying to practice this. I'm needing this big time because I'm working a full-time 40+ hour a week job. I'm momming. I'm trying to do other things too, right? And you can imagine we all have life, and do this. And it's quickly becoming full-time as well because I want it to be. That's my choice. And I'm feeling very overwhelmed and I'm like, ah. So I need these power pockets desperately to get me organized and working efficiently and effectively. But here's what I found the past 2 days. The past 2 days for me have been pure chaos and in life. And I haven't been able to get through all of the power pockets, partly because I don't have the practice and habit in place yet. I mean, it's just like when we first started, like maybe you started like I did with 21 Day Fix. We need those first 21 days to build the habit. I have to build this habit up. It's not built yet. And I'm seeing that. I'm still like wanting to look at those babies. I'm scrolling, I'm zoning out because I'm stressed from stuff in life. So I'm recognizing these facts. And here's my suggestion. If you don't get through all power pockets, note the ones you didn't get through today, and then pick up right where you left off the next day. So like for me, I left off, I'm going to pull up my cheat sheet here. At power pocket number 3, doing my social media posts. Well, I'm still kind of doing those every day, but I didn't get to inviting, and I didn't get to follow-ups, and I just sort of got to answering messages. But those 2 big ones, those are huge, inviting and follow-ups. And so I shouldn't start right back at the beginning the next day. I need to start right back where I left off. And I think that's a good way to work into building the habit or having this be that part-time hobby that fits into your life. It really, really can. So if you don't get to inviting and following up or every power pocket every day, it is not the end of the world. You pick right up where you left off, and you will be building something that you're going to be super proud of before you know it. Yeah. I think that's awesome. Oh, there was one other thing we wanted to talk about. Maybe you planned it, the community group page. Do you want to talk about that today?
Oh my gosh, oh my God, squirrel. I totally forgot about it.
Do you want me to talk about it?
Oh yeah, go ahead, because clearly I'm not prepared. I'm like, oh yeah, we're done.
We're done. Bye, everyone.
We only had like extensive Voxer messages going back about, oh my gosh.
I know. Well, this is our life, and this is everyone's life. See, you can build an amazing business and an amazing team and be crazy all at the same time. It's totally possible.
Yeah.
So, because we all are. So here's what we're also thinking, kind of in conjunction with, we're all going to be practicing these power pockets. And like we said, next week we'll be having another team call where I will show you Streak, which is used with Google and with Gmail. And is a way for you to easily track people that you're connecting with and people that you are inviting and all of that. But then as another thing we want to add to our team to make your life easier and to just add some great value to people that we are all coaching, we want to introduce a community page. So this community page does not require people to have purchased a challenge pack or purchased Beachbody on demand or purchase anything from you, but they've shown interest. And you just want to kind of stay in front of them and make sure they're seeing your posts and make sure they're hearing more about Shakeology and more about the workouts you do and more about our team. So we're going to be hosting one great big community page named To Be Determined. And the page will be launched very, very soon, like this week. And then all you have to do is add people to it. So those of you that were doing the 80-Day Obsession launch with us back in December, we had an 80-Day Obsession launch group page. We're going to do it very similar to that, but this one is just going to be ongoing from this point forward. And also in this group page, we're going to do fun things. We're going to host all free groups in this page. So, on a regular basis, we'll be posting our workouts, we'll be talking about our Shakeology, we'll be talking about life and how we fit coaching into life, workouts into life, sharing what we already share. But then we will also host our free groups right in that page. So we won't have a separate page for our free groups. We'll just do it right in there. We'll do all the free group posts in there. And if someone's participating in it, awesome. If they're not, well, they're seeing what we're doing and hopefully getting jealous and wanting to join up. And Yeah. Now, in regards to actual challenge groups, we will still do separate pages for that. That's where, once they say, I'm ready to do a challenge with you, I'm going to buy a challenge pack or whatever you deem they need to purchase from you to put them into the challenge group. And then we'll have a private page for that. Cool. Questions?
If anybody has recommendations or suggestions for the name, we're welcome to hear them.
Yeah.
Because
How about just community?
A fit community. I don't know what it would be.
I know we were talking about doing the free abs and booty challenge. What was the date that you had in mind for that?
I just posted about it this morning for Monday to start. Yeah. And I might tweak the workout calendar because now that more 80-day obsession workouts are released, because I think when we did it last month, I mean, we were still in phase 1. So, I might, we can tweak the workout calendar, includes like some of the stuff from phase 2, because I think some of those are really, really good workouts to include. We can tweak it.
Thanks for putting that together, Blake. That was awesome.
Yeah. Now that it's created, it's super easy to just go in and edit it on Canva and then like download the new thing. So
reuse.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, you can see like the bags under my eyes from this angle. I need to like close that window. This is horrendous.
I can't stop looking at how awesome your eyebrows still look, though.
I feel like
I'm here in my white kitchen with
microbladed. We'll see.
Blinding everyone.
I feel like a new woman. All right. Well, I'm gonna put, now that we're done with the call, I'm gonna post the image up in the group, and then I'll tag everybody, and then I'll post underneath it probably the recording of this video too. So feel free when you guys also sign up a coach to just guide them to this video. It's one of the easiest ways to sort of get people up and running too. So,
Yay.
Thanks, Blake.
Right. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have an awesome Thursday.
Yay.
All right, bye.
Bye.